All right, so I hit the record. So now's where you tell me all your passwords and your. Does anybody have any wins? Anybody lose any weight, or their clothes don't fit anymore because they're too loose, or any good things happen this week?
Well, I went to Las Vegas for 3 days and I still stuck with my program. And your tips on travel and eating out really helped.
Oh, good.
I was able to get pretty close to the food that was good for me. So, yeah, it worked out. And I took stuff with me too.
That's wonderful. It
Yeah,
can be done. It can be
yeah.
done. We just
That was that was a test for this trip to Montana. So,
that was a warm up.
yeah,
Well, good for
exactly.
you. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. All right, so anybody else? Okay, so welcome in everybody. Happy Wednesday. I've always called these weekly Wednesdays, but I think I'm changing the name of it to Lunch and Learn just because I'm doing these around noon, at least Arizona time. And that was originally why I put it at noon, because so people could just have their lunch while they're listening in and participating and whatnot. So, but this one's a little bit longer than the other three that I do for those of you still in the coaching program. But this month I'll be talking, I'm doing a 3-part series on fitness. So this is just part one. And so today we will be talking about physical fitness. What is it? How to achieve it? All of those things. Oh, let me do the slideshow. Where's my? Okay. All right. So I am going to do some shout outs and I have some dad jokes for you. We'll be talking about what fitness is, the components of it, the types of exercise, the different modalities, what does what for your body and why you should or should not do some things. We'll go into some nutrition and other ways to achieve physical fitness. And then I'll leave it open for Q&A. But first, hopefully I didn't lose it here. Okay. So why don't bodybuilders ever have trouble making decisions? Because they always weigh their options. Why did the
I'll have
gym
to tell
goer
my
break up with
son-in-law
his
that.
gym? It just wasn't working out. All right, so let's see. Mary, we've got Mary down over 17 pounds, so congratulations to you. Karen is down 2 pounds from last week. She's been in the program for a while. She's just continuing to stay the course and going strong. Amy, not only is her weight down, but her blood pressure is also down.
Oh, so is mine. Yeah, my
Oh,
blood
very good.
pressure. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I haven't taken any pressure medication for two
Me either.
weeks.
Awesome. Just make sure you let your doctor know. I mean, of
Yeah,
course,
but
I couldn't do it. Dr. Infantino's not even allowed to do it. Only the prescribing physician can change or eliminate certain medicines. But if you're lowering it naturally, then it might get too low if you're also taking a pill. So just if you have a blood
okay.
pressure cuff, keep track of that.
I take it every day, twice a day.
What?
So my blood pressure, I monitor it all the time. And my doctor's
Oh, you
aware. So
take the blood pressure. Gotcha.
no,
Okay.
I take my, yeah, every day. And see, I went from 40 to 20 to 5 milligrams.
Oh, wow.
And now
Wow, that's
now I'm at none.
oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Beth, she said she's sleeping better than it's been in years. So that's awesome. And I got Kim and Bill, married couple. She's lost over 20 pounds and he's down around 33. So congratulations. And if I didn't mention your name,
Wow.
sometimes I forget to look at this stuff and then I'm scrambling it on Wednesday morning. This week I did a little better and I started marking them down as they were coming in, but don't think I don't notice. You guys are all doing a great job. We're not all perfect, but like you said, Mary, we travel, we go here, we go there, we just do the best we can. So that is super awesome. All right, so we're going to talk about fitness. So how fit are you? What is fitness? We're going to talk about several different kinds of fitness in the next few weeks to come. Today will be about physical fitness. Next week, we'll be talking more about mental fitness and how to get your mind on track to keep you going. There's so many diets in the world, and some of them are terrible and some of them are fabulous. But if we can't get our brain on track with it all, we tend to not stick with it. We get excited and then life happens and it gets difficult and then we sometimes fall out. So we'll talk about all that stuff next week. The week after that, I'll be talking about spiritual fitness. I know that seems like a weird thing to talk about in a health and wellness program like this. Some people are here for weight loss, some people are here for gut health, some for both, some for other things. But I will make that connection for you in that week. It's not about religion and nothing like that. It's just learning to find some peace within yourself. And then there's financial fitness, and I won't talk to you guys at all about that because that is not my area of expertise. Hence, I have this job. So, okay, so come on. There we go. All right, so what is the definition of physical fitness? It is a state of health and well-being, and more specifically, the ability to perform aspects of sports, occupations, and daily activities. Physical fitness is generally achieved through proper nutrition, moderate to vigorous exercise, with sufficient rest and recovery. So there's a lot of different ways we can achieve physical fitness, but I'm going to kind of dig a little deeper into the exercise part of it today. We've got the nutrition, we've got the other things that we can add and do to be physically fit. But I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the exercise part. So I haven't talked about that in a while. And whether you're just starting out and you're not starting exercise just yet, this is going to be good information for you to know so that when you do start, you're really understanding where your heart rate should be, why you're doing what you're doing, the benefits of each thing. And, don't leave that out because it's important for that. And don't leave this out because it's important for that. So for me, the way I learn, if I know why you're asking me to do something, I'll likely do it. If you just tell me to go do it, it doesn't sink in. But if you tell me the benefit of it or why I would do it. So I'm gonna dive deep into that with you guys today. Oh, my mouse is not working. All right, so what are the components of weight loss? So you've got cardiovascular endurance. So when we do cardiovascular exercise and we, go to what's called steady state cardio, where you get your heart rate up to a certain number and you stay there for a while, you start to build endurance. And the more you can do that, the longer you can do an activity without petering out. So this is something really important. It's really important if you like to travel and you're going through the airport and they decided to change terminals or change gates and the plane is leaving in 2 minutes and you have to pick up your stuff and run across the airport. You do not want to miss that plane. So if you have some good cardiovascular endurance, you're going to be better off hanging out with your grandkids, being able to hike with your friends, all the fun things in life. You want to make sure you're able to sustain more than just a couple of minutes and then you're off huffing and puffing. Body composition. What is your level of body fat? Why is you guys, I'm sorry, my mouse is being funny. I am going to show you. So Okay, so can you guys see my screen with the body fat?
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes when I have two screens, it doesn't. So if you want to just take a look, find your age on the left column here, and then you can see. Now, if you're coming into the office does measure your body fat, or if you live out of state or out of the area, I recommend you get a scale that also measures body fat because it's a nice, good way to know. You know, you can look good in your clothes, but if your body fat is still too much, it's still going to be an unhealthy level. So we want to keep that body fat to a good, healthy level. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of that so you have it, or if you want to email me later, I can email you this document and you can have that for your records. Okay, so body composition. How much body fat do you have? How much lean muscle do you have? Flexibility. Flexibility is very important for range of motion, mobility, prevention of injury. So it's really, I'm going to talk a little deeper about flexibility today. Muscle strength. We want to be able to pick up that suitcase. We want to be able to pick up those grandbabies, even if they're 5 years old and really, really heavy. My grandson is now 11. I don't think I can pick him up anymore, but it's, when we don't want to ever stop being able to pick them up. So muscle strength, that's a part of the components. Muscle endurance. So muscle strength is how much can you lift in one lift, so to speak. Muscle endurance is how many times you can lift it without failing. So if you're doing a project, if you're painting or scrubbing a wall or something like that, and you're able to go for an hour and scrub these walls, you have some good muscle endurance. Again, which is why this is important, because I need you to come over here and clean my walls. I'm getting ready to paint. So muscle strength is how strong you are to pick one thing up. Muscle endurance is how long you can do it. And then we've got skills like speed, which is important. All of these are important for your quality of life. Speed, agility, which is just your ability to get out of the way. If you're walking along and you're talking to someone and you turn around, you look and there's a pole right there or a person, you got to kind of duck. If you don't have good agility or good strength in your body, chances are we fall or we lose balance. Obviously, balance is important for quality of life, coordination, and obviously reaction time, being able to drive and having reaction times. If somebody else goes to fall, the grandchild goes to fall, we can catch them quicker. All these things are super important for overall fitness. All right, so now let's get into the types of exercise. So today I'm going to go a little deeper dive into cardiovascular exercise, strength training, high intensity interval training, and flexibility. Which one do you think is the most important? Anyone want to guess?
Flexibility. Flexibility.
It's very important. That's a very important piece. I'm just going to cheat a little bit and tell you they're all really important. But I have my favorite. So you'll learn about that in just a second.
Yes.
All right. So what is cardiovascular exercise? Basically, it's anything that will get your heart rate up. So dancing, yard work, hiking, the treadmill, running, hiking, walking, bike riding, swimming, anything that gets your heart rate up. So a lot of times when you guys fill out your check-in sheet, and I appreciate when you guys do that because it really helps me understand where you're at and what you're doing. But a lot of times I see under activity, I see improved or moderate or getting better, which doesn't tell me anything. Getting better than what? I don't know what that even means. So if you guys wouldn't mind being a little more specific, saying, hey, I'm doing water aerobics twice a week, I'm riding my bike once a week, and I go hiking with my friends on Saturday. That's great. That gives me a little idea of what you're doing. But if a lot of times people just put walking, and there's nothing wrong with walking. But if you're out there walking your dog with little tiny legs and they're stopping to pee at every bush or smell every bush, chances are you're not getting your heart rate up like you should. Otherwise, walking really isn't improving your health and wellness and your cardiovascular system. If you're walking outside, you're getting some sunlight. If you're walking with a friend or a partner, you're bonding with your friend or your partner. So these are not terrible things whatsoever. But if your heart rate isn't coming up to a certain level, then you're probably not going to change anything about your physical fitness. So there's a whole Carbonin formula I could give you, but in essence of saving a little time today, you'd have to know your resting heart rate and all of that stuff, which is a good component because the Carbonin formula will be specific to your cardiovascular condition right now. But if you don't want to do all the math, because it is a lot of math, you can just take 180 minus your age, which will put you in a fat burning zone. So what are the benefits of cardiovascular exercise? It burns calories. I mean, it burns calories right here and right now. Now, after you get off that bike or out of that pool or off that mountain from your hike, you're still going to burn a few extra calories, but it can quickly come down in probably 30 minutes, depending on what you did. But around 30 minutes to your old, normal, regular, slower metabolism, if it is slow. So there's nothing wrong with burning calories right now. You're still working your heart. Yeah, so it's great for your heart and your lungs. Every time we exercise, the heart has to beat. And if it's beating a lot, when you're doing, say you're on a treadmill and you're doing, 2 miles an hour and your heart rate gets up to, say 120, if that's whatever it is. And then you keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that. And you notice you're at the same speed and the same level of incline, but you notice your heart rate is coming down weeks or maybe months into it. That means your heart is getting healthier because with every pump, if it has to beat less times, or I should say fewer times, the stroke volume has improved. More blood gets pumped with each time it beats. So it doesn't have to work as hard. So it creates the healthier heart and lungs and vascular system. Every time we get that heart rate up, it helps stretch and keep those veins and arteries elastic so that when we do run or hike or exercise or swim or ride the bike or whatever, the veins and arteries can stretch out. Because if we never exercise cardiovascularly, they stay small and then they harden. And when they harden, then the blood pressure goes up because it has to work really, really hard to get it through that tiny little hole of a vein or an artery. So it's really important for your heart and your lungs. Cardiovascular is a fabulous way to detoxify your body. First of all, you're sweating. You know that, you're releasing all the toxins out of your body from, as you're sweating, doing whatever it is you're doing, dancing, hiking, running. But it's not just sweating, it's also breathing. So, and if you're breathing heavier a lot, every time you exhale, so if you go to a mirror and you can see that kind of fog on the mirror, all of that stuff is exhale. That's toxins from your body. So you're exhaling the toxins and you're sweating out the toxins. So it's really a good idea. Ideally, obviously, we can't all do it perfectly right. But if you can shower immediately following your cardiovascular exercise and wash those toxins off so that they don't reabsorb into the body, that would be a good way to stay detoxified. If you're coming into our office and you go into the sauna and you sweat, they give you towels in there. Wipe your body down so that the toxins can go on the towel and not right back into your body. The skin is a very large absorbent organ. It's your largest organ, and it's very absorbent. So it can reabsorb those toxins. So just be mindful of that. Great for circulation and healing. Healing occurs when blood comes to the affected area. So the more blood we can get to any of the affected areas, if we have any injuries in the body, the faster it's going to heal. The more blood we get to our cells, to our muscles, to our joints, to all the body parts, the more oxygen they get, the more nutrients they get, the healthier they are. And that's where healing occurs. And then also when we do some cardiovascular exercise, you guys are going to get better sleep. I know on days when I exercise, I do sleep better than days when I don't. Anybody have any questions on cardio? All right, so strength training. What is strength training? Strength training is basically anything with resistance, whether it's free weights like dumbbells or barbells, the machines at the gym where you're pushing or pulling or whatever. There's cables at the gym where you connect it to a handle and you're pulling or you're pushing, doing chest flies. There's so many things you could do. Rows. Those are a great way. Anything with resistance, the resistance bands. Using your own body weight like push-ups or squats or crunches, side planks, all of that stuff. Yoga is a great way to get strength training. You're using your body weight a lot there. Yoga incorporates a good blend of strength and flexibility, and sometimes even cardio. Pilates is usually done on machines, but there's Pilates classes that you can take at the gym that require nothing. But that's primarily using your body weight. And if you're using the Pilates equipment, there's springs that can make it more challenging. So as you get stronger, you can keep going. All right, what are the benefits? You build lean body mass. You guys, if you guys have ever heard me talk, what's my favorite saying? The more lean body mass you have, the faster your metabolism works. So when we do strength training, when we build lean muscle, we are literally turning the dial up on your calorie burning. So now, if your body naturally just burns, 1,300 calories, just sitting there, once you start building lean muscle, it might naturally burn 1,400 or 1,500. It's as the more lean muscle you have, the faster you're burning calories, which is why the men in the group tend to lose weight faster than women, because they naturally, whether they go to the gym or not, just because of their testosterone and their chemistry, it's just easier for them to lose weight because they have more muscle. Doesn't mean we can't as women, it just means we got to do some strength training. So that's why I'm a really big fan of strength training. The cardio burns calories right now. The strength training will teach your body how to burn calories more 24/7 while you're sleeping, reading, working on the computer, all of that stuff. As I mentioned, it does speed up the metabolism. It can help reduce belly fat. Strength training in particular can help reduce specifically belly fat. If you're, and you've got to really work the whole entire body. People just want to work their stomach because they don't like their stomach, or they just want to work their butt because they think their butt's too big, or whatever the case, or they want to work the arms. They got the little angel wings. It's really important that you balance your workouts. So if you're working your chest one day, doesn't have to be today, but sometime this week, you got to work your back. You've always got to work your opposing muscle groups. If you work your quads, your front part of your thighs, you still got to work the backs of your thighs. And maybe your glutes, lifting your legs to the side. You want to work all of the parts so that you don't have any weak areas. So if you're working your abs, and never working your low back, you're going to end up with back problems. So you got to strengthen your low back as well as doing your abs. You really want to have balanced workouts. You can gain strength and muscle endurance. We just talked about that a little bit. But you want to be able to be strong, to be able to lift those groceries easily and not struggle with your household chores as you move in furniture when you vacuum or yard work or whatever. And muscle endurance, being able to do the things, maybe you're playing with the kids or grandkids or bowling or whatever the case. If you're too tired 5 minutes into it, kind of sucks the fun out of it. Also, strength training is fabulous for increasing bone density. The more lean muscle you have, it literally pulls on the bone, creating more bone density. So there's lots and lots of good reasons to do your strength training. And really, it can be done anywhere. If you're using your own body weight, or resistance bands are so, they don't weigh anything. They fit in a suitcase nice. They fit under the couch. They fit under your bed. They're store easy. They don't weigh anything. So if you're bringing them on while you're traveling, you know, it's just easy enough to do in your hotel room or whatever. You can do it on the beach. Again, yoga, that always works. And yeah, so this will increase your calorie burn 24/7. All right, so what is high intensity interval training? So that is basically timed bursts of efforts. So strength training focuses more on like form and slow motion movement, which is good. You want to move nice and slow through your movements to make sure your form is just right. If you're squatting, you want to make sure your knees are lined up right. Now, on module 5 in the course, I give you demos to show you the correct form of all the things I'm suggesting that you do in our plan. So be sure to check that out in module 5. But it's basically, but the high intensity interval is maybe, okay, so squats, for example, if I'm doing strength training, I'm going to do a set of 12 squats. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch my form. I'm going to go nice and slow. If I was do HIIT squats, I'd be squatting as fast as I can for a period of time, like maybe 20 seconds. Now there's an app that you can get on your phone. It's free and you can program it to any times you want. And it's this, let's see, this little orange one here. The orange, it looks like a pumpkin with a little hat. Tabata, Tabata, Tabata. And what that does, now traditional Tabata is work 20 seconds and rest 10 seconds. Work 20 seconds, rest 10 seconds. And if you do that for 8 cycles, that's 4 minutes. I can promise you this. These battle ropes that this lady is doing when she's doing this for 20 seconds, even the first 20 seconds will take some people out. I mean, that's a hard workout, by the way. That's a really hard work. It looks easy, but it's hard. Those ropes are really heavy. But if you get to the second and third one, your heart rate is up and you're working your muscles. I mean, it is a fabulous workout. So you don't even have to do all 8 cycles. You might start with only 4 and you'll really need a good rest after that. But the benefits of high intensity interval training is you burn more fat and calories, let's see here, within the 24 hours versus the steady state cardio where you have a little bit of an afterburn where you're burning more calories than you normally would, but then it goes back to normal pretty quick. With high intensity interval training, where your heart rate's coming up and coming down, your afterburn is going to last a whole lot longer. So you're burning more calories. So you're going to get better bang for your buck. But I wouldn't suggest you start with HIIT exercises because, again, in the example of the squats, if you don't have your form right and you're doing squats really fast and you're doing them really wrong, you can really, really hurt your knees. So first, get your form right on whatever exercises, your push-ups, your squats, your lunges, all those things. Get your form right, and then you can incorporate them into, a timed burst, go fast. And you can do cardio exercises for that 20 seconds, and you can do, like I said, the squats, the strength exercises, or you could go back and forth. You could go squats 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, and then do jumping jacks for 20 seconds, and then rest for 20 seconds, and then go back to your squats. So you can alternate cardio versus, but your heart rate will come up. I promise you by the second and third round. So if you make it through all 8, it's only 4 minutes, but I'll tell you what, you can get a heck of a workout in 4 minutes. It's really, really, really good. Best for weight loss, but do not start that as a beginner. Let's see. Where's my thing? It increases cardiovascular health and it helps gain muscle. So it's doing both. It's doing both, which obviously we want both. It increases the human growth hormone in the body, which is our youth hormone. This is our youth hormone. This is what helps build lean muscle. It helps us maintain that lean muscle, which helps us maintain a leaner body. Also, based on what I just told you, those Tabatas, you do 4 minutes, it takes a lot less time. And, you know, some people even do 20 minutes of that. That's hard. That's really hard. You might incorporate working up to that, but it does take a lot less time. And really, you don't need any equipment to do Tabata any more than you would for cardio or strength training using your body weight. So high intensity is excellent, excellent, excellent for weight loss and strength and cardio, but it's not the first thing you start off with. And then lastly is the flexibility training. You've got prevention of injury. So the more flexibility you have, the less likely it is that you pull something. You know, if we lose our balance and we go to catch something and it's a weird position and we're super, super tight, that's how things get pulled and snap and break. If you're in your car and you have to reach for something and you're really stiff, that's how we jack up that shoulder. So it's really, really important for that. Also, obviously, you're increasing your range of motion. So you are able to reach back and do the things and all of that. Also, when we stretch, we carry stress a lot of times in our neck, sometimes in our hips, a lot of places in the physical body. When we stress, or when we stretch, we relieve stress from the physical body. I used to do a Tension Tamer Tuesday in my vitamin store. So the first Tuesday of every month, I would have a yoga class, but it was more of a stretch class. So I would take them through yoga stretch for the first 40 minutes. And then, so just releasing stress from the entire body, stretching every muscle I could think of in any way I could think of, just to release, soft, relaxing, chill, spa music, just releasing any physical stress from the body. The music also helps it psychologically too. But when you do that, you're lowering your cortisol. Your cortisol is your belly fat hormone. That's your stress hormone. And the more stress we have, the more cortisol we release. Now, cortisol is important. It saves our life. If we're walking across the street and we see a bus coming at us, it makes us run out of the way, and, because we get scared and we run. But if we're constantly getting stress, then the cortisol is ongoing, that can cause belly fat. So it's really important for lowering your cortisol as well. And by the way, people, when I used to teach group exercise and we get to the end of the class and I'd take some time for stretch, a lot of people would get up and leave. And I'm like, first of all, that's the best part. It's the most fun part. It feels good because the other part might have been a struggle, but it actually works your muscles. So it's really can go underrated. It really can go underrated. All right. So another really, 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 really important piece of physical fitness is getting in your nutrition. And pretty much they say it's about 80%. If you get 80% of your food right, you can really make a difference on your physical fitness. So how do we do that? Number one is meal plan, planning out your meals, prepping your meals. I cannot tell you how important meal prep is. And when I say meal prep, that could mean something as simple as keeping a bag of frozen diced, already cooked chicken in the freezer. I just saw that at the store. I put it on the Facebook group. I saw some pre-cooked diced chicken. It's not organic, But in a pinch, guys, I'd rather us have good choices available than go off and open up a bag of chips. So, but having riced cauliflower and frozen vegetables in the freezer, always have vegetables and proteins in the freezer. And that way, if somebody else ate your food or the food went bad, or, oh, that's right, I forgot I ate the last one last night, whatever, having it there in the house, having the cans of tuna in the pantry, just having the right foods in the house, having the wrong foods in the house is just too tempting. If your food isn't actually cooked and ready to eat and you're hungry and you have wrong foods and all you got to do is open that bag, that'll lead to trouble. It's really important. And then portions. Portions is huge. As far as your vegetables go, I put that on the all you can eat list. So if you want to pile on a barrel of spinach and broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and romaine lettuce and tomatoes and asparagus and zucchini, all of that stuff, bell peppers, all of that stuff, carrots, just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Never limit your vegetables. Your proteins, I would say for the ladies, at least 3, if not 4 or more ounces. For the men, I would say at least 4 to 5 or 6, depending on your height. If you're a big guy, 6'3" or 4, you're definitely you might even want 8 ounces, but you definitely want to get enough protein, because if you're in a calorie deficit, your body's going to go after the protein in the muscle, and then it breaks the muscle down. And as you know, the more lean muscle we have, the faster the metabolism works. We don't want to do that. So if you're getting enough protein while on a calorie deficit and doing your strength training, you won't lose your muscle. Your portions for your carbs, pardon?
Proteins, you said 4 ounces, is that per day?
No, great question. Oh, I'm so glad I'm
Per
sorry.
meal, right?
Per meal, yes. I'm glad you asked.
I was only doing per day, and then I went, that's not enough. I want
No,
more.
if you want to know, if you take your desired weight, so if you're 200 and you want to be 150, the lowest would be times 0.55, but I would say go to 0.7. So if I did, so if I did clear 150 times 0.7, that's 105 grams of protein per day. So really, you want to get at least 100 grams a day for someone who wants to be 150. So the shakes are 20 grams. If you do like the 2 scoops of the whey protein, the vegan protein is just 1 scoop for 20 grams. So let's see what else. Your carbohydrates, we're only doing 2 servings, half cup max. What is carbohydrates? It's fruit. So if you're back on fruit, that counts as one of your carb servings. Your quinoa, your lentils, your brown rice, and things like beets and winter squash, like spaghetti squash, acorn squash, butternut squash, peas, and yams. Those are all going to go in the carb category. You still want to keep those in a half a cup serving. And then your fats, I wouldn't worry about your fats right now, but generally speaking, if you want to stop counting calories, I kind of stick to 15 to 20 grams per meal on my fats. That would be a serving of fats. So I'll talk about all of that stuff on another talk show, but I just putting it out there. Tracking your food. I know you guys, I know it's a pain in the butt. Remember at the beginning, I said we were talking about the different kinds of fitness, and one of them was financial fitness. Well, I took, because I'm not that good in, well, I was worse. I've improved a lot since I've taken this course, by the way, but she had me tracking my food, just like I have you tracking your calories, but I had to track everything that came in and everything that came out. And I had to categorize it, like where could I have cut? Was it a necessity? If it's for your house or for transportation or food, we need it. If it's out to dinner and concert tickets and stuff like that, maybe that's a place I could cut. But either way, pain in the ass or not, sorry. It's really, really, really important. It helps you see where you're at. And then, of course, there's that accountability. It helps me be able to see where you're at, and it helps me help you a little bit better. So yes, I'm not, blind to the fact that it is a pain in the butt, but it's important. And then knowing your macronutrients, like we just kind of went over a little bit. We've got carbs, we've got proteins, we've got fats. I made up a fourth category. If you look up macros, it's just going to have carbs, proteins, and fats. Those are your three. But I like that fourth category of vegetables, because technically vegetables come in the carb category, but I want you to very much limit your carbs. I do not want you to at all ever limit your veggies. So if you can put your food in those four categories and really make sure you're getting something from all four, except maybe you can skip the carb if you're not going to go exercise or move your body. If you're kind of thinking of your food in that way, it will really help you have a balanced meal. Where's my fat? Where's my protein? Where's my veggies? Check, check, check. Okay, it's a good meal. And that's how you go to restaurants. Look for your fat, your protein, and your veggies, and your carbs, and kind of make those placements. Does that make sense?
What's the carbs per day?
Well, he hasn't given anybody a number,
Okay.
like 50 carbs a day. But my personal number is, if I'm looking at a label of something and it has more than 20 carbs, I probably, if it's 22 or 25, if I know I'm going dancing later, I might have it. But anything above that, probably not.
But that's once a day?
No. I mean, like if you're having a carb at every meal, you stick to that half cup and make it less than 20, if it's 20 grams of carbs or less. So like, for example, let's do brown rice. Where is it? How many carbs in a half cup of brown rice?
There are 23 grams
So
of total carbohydrate,
23.
0.5 cups of cooked long grain brown rice.
Okay, thank you. So it's 23. So it's real close to that 20 number. So that's all right. That's not terrible. But if you look at pasta, it's over 40. To me, that's bells and whistles. Don't. Warning, warning. What's it, Will Robinson? Warning, warning. The lights are going off. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. So this is kind of a low carb program, but the real reason is because carbohydrates are the only one of those macronutrients that can spike blood sugars. So the ones we've eliminated the ones that spike them big, and we're allowing the ones that don't spike them too badly. So brown rice is probably going to come into the low to medium glycemic range, because the more your blood sugars spike, the more you're storing fat. So the lower we can keep your sugars, the more we can keep any kind of insulin spikes. Really, really important for weight loss. That's how I lost my weight, is watching my glycemic index. Again, I will do a whole topic on that and explain how all that works. But that's why it's not all carbs are bad. It's just the high glycemic ones, the ones that spike your blood sugars, that tell your body to store fat. So if you're not sure about a product, if you know it's a carbohydrate, or even if you're not sure, what is the glycemic of? Ask your Google, ask your Alexa, Siri, whatever. What is a glycemic index of a piece of salmon? It's probably going to say 0. Or, what is the glycemic index of the spinach? It might say something very, very low. That's fine. But if it says anything over 55, then it's considered medium. If it's over 70, run for the hills. It's high, and it will spike your insulin levels. Again, I'll have to talk about that next time. All right. And so lastly, but just as importantly for your physical fitness, hydration is really, really, really important. And one of the reasons is sometimes we're thirsty, but we feel hungry. So sometimes if you're hungry, especially if you're having too many calories, most of you guys I'm having trouble getting you to eat enough. But if you're having too many calories and you feel like eating, try a glass of water, because sometimes we confuse hunger or thirst, or thirst for hunger. I'm mixing that up. But try taking a glass of water and seeing if it doesn't curb that hunger. Let's see. It helps cleanse the liver. The liver is the one organ that helps the body metabolize fat the most efficiently. This is a clean the liver kind of program, which is why we have you drinking half your body weight in ounces. It supports your digestive system. It helps with bowel movements. It helps, all that water helps push that stuff through your body. It improves your capacity for exercise. If you're dehydrated, you're tired. You're not going to get through a good workout. You're not going to be able to put anything into it. So it really can improve your quality of exercise. It also helps the body break down fat, which is awesome. And it can improve your skin, the hydration of the skin, and of course, and increase bowel movements and decrease fatigue. The first thing to shut down if you're dehydrated is your kidneys, which can lead to kidney disease. It can also lead to cramps, headaches, tired, weakness, confusion, and constipation. And headaches, yeah, I said headaches. So that's why hydration is just really, really important. And then rest, that's also really important. And Dr. Infantino recommends we go to bed by 10. So we're asleep within a reasonable period of time. So between 12 and 2 o'clock in the morning is when we release that HGH, the human growth hormone, which is what helps us stay young and youthful and healthy and strong. It also helps us maintain that lean muscle, which helps us stay strong and lean. But rest really can mess with your hormones. If you don't get enough rest, it can mess with your hunger hormones. One bad night of sleep, the next day, tell me you're not craving, pizza or comfort food or breads or toast. Studies I read, a group of students, and they were all female, they all wanted bread and toast in the morning when they interrupted their sleep. So very, very important for that. And it can increase your metabolism. It can increase your motivation. If you're tired, it's real easy to say, screw it, I don't want to go to the gym. If you're good and rested, the chances of you going are going to go up. Yeah, obviously, it improves your energy levels, which will improve your workouts. We make better decisions and reduces impulse control when we've had good restful sleep. If you're staying up late into the night, yeah, that's a lot more awake hours that you have that chances are you might snack. And late night snackers are not known for being healthy choices. It's 10, 11 o'clock at night, you had dinner at 6 p.m. and now you're still up and it's 11 or midnight, chances are you might snack on something and probably the wrong thing. Also can reduce your cravings. Like I said, your rest can affect your ghrelin and your leptin, which are your hunger hormones and the hormone that tells your body when to stop eating. But it messes, one bad night, it messes it up and we start craving those things. So these are really, really also important pieces of the physical fitness. Why would anybody care about physical fitness? Well, I don't know about you, and I am kind of an outdoorsy kind of person. So stuff like this picture, the kayaking and hiking, and that might not be your thing. But if we have family and grandkids and we want to go to weddings and dance at the wedding, or if maybe you play golf or something like that, these things, all of this physical fitness will allow us to have this wonderful quality of life. We can do the golfing, hiking, pickleball, tennis, going to a festival, being able to stay on your feet for 6 hours, all of that kind of stuff. So I just think people think this is the exercise. It's like, no, we exercise so we can do this with ease, if that makes sense. So I exercise so that I can do all these fun things. Make sense?
Yeah. Hey, I gotta go. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for joining.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, have a good
All
one.
right.
Also, you guys, my new email is coach@drinfantino.com. And also the scheduling link got changed again. The most recent one is Coach Tami. You guys can take a screenshot with your phone if you want to. Coach Tami drinfantino.com. And you guys can use that to book your coaching calls with me if you're in the coaching program still. Does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts? All right, well, does anybody have any questions about other things other than exercise or fitness? All righty. Well, I appreciate every one of you for joining today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully I will see you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye.